Before there were maps, there were two worlds. The world you know, and the shining realm of Kaf, hidden just beyond it. A kingdom of fairies and giants and magic. On the night he was born, an emperor 1,000 miles away woke from a dream. A black crow that stole his crown, and a bright hawk that flew out of the west to win it back. And the wise men said, "That hawk is a child, and he will shake the thrones of the world." That same night, the fairies of Kaf carried the sleeping baby across the sky. They blessed him, and they touched his eyes, so that nothing hidden could ever hide from him again. His name was Hamza. He would become the bravest champion the world had ever seen. Strong as a lion, a warrior against 100 armies, a prince who lost his heart to a princess, and at his side, the cleverest trickster who ever lived. Amar, a thief of 1,000 disguises, and the truest friend a hero ever had. Together, they crossed burning deserts and enchanted mountains. They faced sorcerers and giants and dragons and the demon armies of Kaf. They saw wonders no eye had ever seen. Thrones that flew, cities of gold, gardens that bloomed in the dark, courage, magic, love, and laughter. One of the greatest stories ever told, carried for 1,000 years. And now, it is yours. This is the Dastan of Amir Hamza. There is the long road which costs you time, and there is the short road which costs you blood. Mark which one the boy chose, and mark too who profited from the lion once the lion was dead. For in that one small difference you will find the whole distance between a hero and an Ayyar. So it was that Hamza set out at last for the city of the emperor, for Ctesiphon, of the king of kings. And at a crossroads his guide, Buzurg Umid, drew rein and told him the truth of the two ways. The long road was safe, and it cost 6 months. The short road was swift, but it had been shut for 5 years, and the toll-keeper on it was a lion. A lion that had eaten the road's very reputation until no caravan would so much as speak its name. Hamza, of course, sent the whole army the long way and took the short road himself, with only Amar for company. And Amar walked at his side and spent the entire journey listing in loving and exhausting detail every single thing that was wrong with this plan. They came to a spring among the reeds. Birds, clear water, sweetness in the air, and the tale holds that stillness one beat too long, so that you already know. The lion came out of the reeds like a hillside coming loose, and I will tell you honestly, Amar was up a tree before the roar had finished, shouting tactical advice down from the branches, for his cowardice was an honest thing, and that is half his charm. But Hamza met the charge head on. He cried out once, and he broke the beast across his knee. It was not quick. It took the hours from dusk into full dark. And when it was done, Amar climbed down and kissed his brother's hands. And then, at once, and very professionally, took out a needle and thread and began to skin it. "You killed it," he said, straw already flying. "Fine! Glory to you, brother. But a dead lion is not a story. A dead lion is inventory." And here, children, is where the trickster made his masterpiece. For the lion reached Ctesiphon before its killers did. At dawn, outside the walls, Amar set his stuffed and stitched creation upon a hillock, jaws stretched wide, glass eyes staring. And the grass-cutters saw it and fled screaming, and the gates slammed, and the markets emptied, and the king of kings of the 7 realms stood on his own balcony and watched his capital laid siege to by a lion made of straw. Until at last Mukbil, who had come in with the main column, walked up the hill, looked the beast calmly in its glass eye, and drew a single thread of straw from between its teeth. The court's terror broke into laughter, and Mukbil was robed and rewarded for it, which stung Amar so deeply that on the road out he put a slingstone clean into his milk brother's forehead over the insult. The quarrel came before Hamza, Amar pleading his wounded etiquette, Mukbil offering gold. And Amar's principles, you will find, dissolved the instant they touched the box of coins. So they were reconciled. Remember it. These brothers bruise one another, and then they close ranks anyway. Whole years to come will run on that engine. Now the court itself. The great divan of Ctesiphon, pillars standing like a forest turned to stone, the throne at the heart of it, and beside the throne one empty chair, the Seat of Rustam, that no man had dared claim for generations. And Hamza, 16 years old, the first down of a beard upon his cheek, invited to sit wherever he pleased, walked past every grandee in that hall and sat down in it. And a sound went through the court like ice cracking on a river. A champion named Faulad, son of the General Rustam, rose to challenge the presumption. They wrestled arms before the throne, and Faulad's arm went down like a drawbridge lowering. He snatched a dagger in his fury. A moment later, the dagger was in Hamza's other hand, taken to pieces, and while all eyes were on the strength of the boy, Amar was at his own work. The king's own signet ring simply vanished from the king's own finger. Uproar. A search. And the ring was discovered. Oh, horror, in the robes of Baktak. Banishment for Baktak. The second, and the count goes on. But Hamza, being honourable, confessed the trick and had the man pardoned, and Baktak, ever after, paid Amar 500 tumans, with a note promising 500 more, simply to be seen in his company a little less. Amar framed the note. Then Rustam came home in triumph, with 4,000 champions at his back and a trophy chain behind him. Bahram Gurd, the Emperor of China himself, paraded as a prize of honest war. His welcome embrace with Hamza was a duel dressed as a courtesy. 2 smiles, 4 arms locked, and one general quietly buckling inside his own armour. But that night Hamza went into Rustam's camp and found the truth. Bahram had not been taken in battle at all. He had been drugged and betrayed and shut in a cage shaped like a coffin. Hamza broke the cage open and nursed the man and laid the case before the throne. That deceit dishonours the very crown it claims to serve. And Naushavan, to his credit, and it is nearly the last full credit I shall give him, heard it and confirmed it, and ordered the one remedy this world understands. A fair contest, Hamza against Bahram, once Bahram could stand. 3 hours that match lasted, forehead pressed to forehead like 2 iron beasts, and the whole court forgot how to breathe. And at the end, Hamza lifted the Emperor of China clean over his head and set him down gently, and Bahram Gurd took his hand and chose his side for the rest of his life. But under all these feasts, children, Ctesiphon was a garden with knives buried in it. The noble's resentment had been collecting in Rustam like water in a cellar, and so came the invitation, all humility, all apology, to a private garden hung with lanterns. The wine flowed, and Hamza's watchfulness floated away upon it, and at the blackest hour of the night 400 blades rose up out of the flower beds, and Bahram Gurd threw his own body across Hamza and took upon himself the killing stroke meant for his friend, repaying his life within the very week he had been given it. And Mukbil, sober as he always is, mark that, it will matter more than once, stood over them both in the dark, and 100 came at him, and his arrows did not miss. Rustam fled into the night certain he had killed Hamza. He had, in truth, only made him, and when the court physician despaired of Bahram's wound, it was Amar who arrived, all theatre
and flourish, and performed the impossible surgery in the field. The vizier's needle stitching exactly where the trickster's hands directed, for the Ayyar of the age, he will tell you, has more trades than he has enemies. And Bahram lived.
So the king, grieving very loudly and innocent, very officially, gave Hamza the garden of justice for his own, and sent a warrant riding out after Rustam into the dark. So the boy came at last to the emperor's city, and in a single season that city handed him both of its gifts, a seat beside the throne, and the knowledge of what truly grows in imperial gardens. Sleep now. The lamp burns low, but remember the sober archer, children, and remember the general who ran, and remember, for tomorrow it will matter above all things, that the princess's window looks straight down upon the garden of justice.